going.
Good morning, Reading. Our first story is about a man who is afraid to listen to his radio because he thinks that it will shock him. Here's our interview with him. So tell me why you think your radio will shock you.
Because radio waves are in the electromagnetic spectrum, or EMS for short.
Why is that a problem?
Because it's the electromagnetic spectrum?
No. The electromagnetic spectrum is a spectrum that classifies electromagnetic waves by their frequencies. The lower the frequencies at the beginning of the spectrum and the higher frequencies at the end. Radio waves have the biggest wavelengths and the lowest frequencies, and gamma rays have the smallest wavelengths and the highest frequencies.
Oh, now it all makes sense.
Wow, that answers a lot of my questions.
Yeah, now sit back and listen to Dr. Heinz von Oompa Loompa as he explains the mysteries behind ultraviolet rays.
Thanks, Jonathan. Ultraviolet rays wavelengths are just shorter than the wavelengths of visible light. Ultra is the Latin prefix for the word beyond, so ultraviolet means beyond violet. Small doses of ultraviolet light are beneficial to humans because ultraviolet rays can cause skin cells to produce vitamin D, which is required for healthy bones and teeth. Also, the energy in ultraviolet rays is strong enough to damage or kill living cells. One example of this is ultraviolet lamps, which are used to kill bacteria and germs on hospital equipment.
Dr. Heinz, the creature is ready.
Thanks, Dr. Loompa. That was riveting. Now to the Massachusetts General Hospital to learn about gamma rays.
Gamma rays? I am Hulk!
Sit down.
Gamma rays have the shortest wavelengths and the highest frequencies of the electromagnetic spectrum. Some radioactive substances and certain nuclear reactions produce gamma rays. Because gamma rays have the most energy, they are the most penetrating of the electromagnetic waves. Because of this, they can cause serious illness, but when used in controlled conditions, gamma rays have some medical use. One way is using gamma rays to kill cancer cells in radiation therapy. Also, a patient can be injected with a fluid that emits gamma rays. The doctor will then use a gamma ray detector to form an image of the body. Speaking of gamma ray therapy, you need yours right now. So put this on and this.
Good luck.
That was fascinating. Now for a public service announcement about conduction.
Conduction. Does that start with C? I'm going to check on my lunch that's cooking. Ow! Ow!
Jonathan, you home?
Over here.
What happened?
I was checking on my lunch and the pan burned me. But I don't know why. I didn't do anything bad to him.
You haven't heard of conduction?
Conduction?
Conduction. When you turn on the stove and put the pan on, the heat transferred from the stove to the pan.
So you're trying to say...
You've heard of molecules, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when the stove heated up, the heat warmed up the molecules of the pan. The heat warms up the molecules, and the molecules start to vibrate faster and bump into each other, into other molecules. When it does this, it transfers heat to other molecules, and they vibrate faster and bump into other molecules, etc., which eventually warms up the entire pan.
Okay, but how did my hand get hot?
Like I said, when molecules are heated, vibrate faster, and bump into each other, it transfers heat all over the pan, including the handle.
Oh, that makes sense.
If you don't want to burn yourself again, you better wear an oven mitt.
Why?
Because the material of the oven mitt is an insulator.
Why do I have to use an insulator?
Well, first let me tell you about conductors. Conductors are materials that heat can travel through easily, but metal, glass, sand, and brick are all examples of conductors. But remember that heat travels through different materials at different speeds.
So heat moves through a piece of glass at a different speed than it does through a piece of iron?
Exactly. Now, insulators are materials that heat can travel through, but not as easily as conductors. Fiberglass, rubber, cloth, and even air, when it's trapping between two other materials, can be insulators. So when you put on that cloth oven mitt, heat can't pass through the pan to your hand as easily. So by putting it on, it will protect your hand.
Wow, thanks.
Well, I have to go now. See you around.
Okay. I have the oven mitt. Now what did he say just put it on? That looks about right.